Do you think Trump will get re-elected? Why? Why not? I honestly have no beep idea any #X200B. The world is on its beep. Edit. To those saying it's just America that is on its beep way to make a statement about the state of affairs of the world. A beep beep. If you take offense to me pointing out there's a beep asterisk ton of collective hurt in the world in addition to America's many issues, then honestly, go beep asterisk. If you live somewhere nice, good for you, but by and large the rest of the world is not in a good place right now. This is the answer. At this point, I just want to survive until the end of the week. It will be close. As for the majority of the comments here, it's fairly clear where people get their perspective. If I followed Fox or Breitbart, I'd say he will be re-elected. If I followed CNN, MSNBC, or Reddit, I'd say he will fail at an embarrassing level. Before coronavirus and the riots, and after Biden becoming the nominee, I would have said with complete certainty that Trump would be re-elected. Now I'm not so sure, and think Biden has a chance after the absolute beep show these past few days and weeks have been. So, interestingly, this attitude is also a function of what news you consume and where you get your info. If you get your info on Reddit, you would take it as a given that Bernie was going to be the nominee, and that he was the only candidate that can beat Trump. If you get your info from cable news, you would think that Bernie never had a real shot at being the nominee, and that if Democrats nominated him, he would lose to Trump because he was too liberal. #X200B. If you look at poll averages, what the data actually shows is that both Bernie and Biden have been polling ahead of Trump nationally, and narrowly ahead in swing states, but that Biden actually polled slightly farther. Blue states will vote blue, red states will vote red, and it will come down to the same 5 or 6 swing states like 2016. This means Florida, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and maybe North Carolina will decide things. Trump probably needs to win at least 4 of them to be re-elected. Trump probably gets Florida and North Carolina. Virginia flipped during the midterms and Penn seems to be trending in the same direction. I don't have a good feel for Michigan and Wisconsin, but it seems that they haven't fared too well during his presidency, so it will be difficult to secure both. Like most presidential elections, it will be close, but if Biden can secure PA and VA and then snag one more, he should. We don't know that the swing states will be the same as 4 years ago. The map is always shifting, albeit slowly. If you told anybody that Wisconsin and Michigan would be considered swing states 4 years ago, you would be laughed away because everyone believed in the vaunted blue wall. This year it could be Minnesota in play. It could be Arizona. As someone who lived in Michigan from 2009 to 2017, it's laughable that people thought maybe it was only from people who didn't live there, but it's deeply purple. Depends on the economy by November. I've heard second quarter of election years is the most important and it's going to be a disaster. Of course it is, but it's expected at this point. I think a lot can happen in 6 months. Don't give 2020 ideas. I think that there is a good chance. I don't have any polls to back me up, but based on the last election, Trump wasn't supposed to win, but he did. His base of supporters, like it or not, aren't going to go away just because they are told they're wrong. They will just buckle down and believe it further. Reddit as a whole has a big problem with this, but they aren't able to see how things are from another's perspective and just label everyone that doesn't agree with them as evil, and because of that, there is no understanding. So the circumstances and experiences that caused Trump to be elected in the first place haven't been handled or reformed, which leads me to believe that things will stay the same. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. A lot of Redditors don't have experience with small towns, manufacturing, agriculture, or resource extraction, and why a lot of those industries lean politically the way they do. And a lot of Redditors don't have experience with small towns, manufacturing, agriculture, or resource extraction, and why a lot of those industries lean politically the way they do. A lot of Redditors are also below voting age or aren't from the United States, so take anything that this site says regarding U.S. politics with a grain of salt. Are you kidding? This is 2020. Of course he's gonna get re-elected. No, the universe will split in two and whichever candidate you dislike will win in your half. Wait, did that happen in 2016? How can I get to the other side? Yes. Say what you will about his voter base, but they do vote, and in large numbers. The vocal young people who are appalled by what is happening in this country do not vote. They can, they just don't. Look no further than the Bernie Sanders campaign. Huge rallies. Many thousands coming out to see him. He had a lock on the nomination, except all those enthusiastic college kids stayed home when it was time to vote for him in the primary. Trump has no such problem. His folks will be out in droves to vote for him again. I don't understand why they won't vote. I was 18 when I voted for Obama. I worked a full-time day job and overnight job with only an hour in between to sleep, and I still made sure I got to the booths to vote. Voted every year since. I just don't understand why you wouldn't vote. They don't believe it means anything. I have heard this from several of my millennial coworkers. They see it as a rich man's game and they decline to play. Just wow at the amount of projecting going on in this thread. I'm a lifelong far-left liberal, and here's what Trump actually thinks. Also, treat 2020 as its own event and not in the context of 2016. Notice the people who bring up Trump barely winning in a few swing states like MI or PA never bring at Hillary just narrowly. What, by some magic those aren't on the table this election? Just a week ago Amy Klobuchar was being vetted by Biden's team for VP. What does that suggest in terms of the Dems' grasp on Minnesota? Further, too many people are disregarding the incumbency effect, especially during trying times. Completely agree. Hillary won Minnesota by 1.3%, New Hampshire by 0. NH was won by 2,000 votes. This election seems it will have razor-thin margins, and just 4 electoral votes could make the difference. If everyone's only source of information was Reddit, it would at least be a 90-10 split in favor of Biden, everywhere except for this thread. It's like the app somehow dipped this post in truth serum. Every comment seems to be saying, yeah, I begrudgingly think Trump's going to win. Yes, I do. Because we already went through. No way Trump gets elected once, and I'm not about to hope for the best anytime soon. I'm preparing for the absolute worst. And that's 4 more years of Trump. I honestly don't know. Earlier this year I was pretty sure that DT was going to be president for another 4 years, largely because the Democratic establishment refuses to work for their voter base, but the past few months have been absolutely so I don't really know what to think right now. That was my thing. Pre-COVID I was 100% certain he would win. Now after this mess I still think he is going to win, but I think Biden may have a chance. Honestly? Probably. My dad is a good example. We disagree politically because I would like a president who's a good person. He just wants someone who's good for the economy. He admitted to me that he knows Trump is not a good person, but he's apparently a good president because he helped the economy. I think a lot of people are like him. No matter how bad of an individual they may be, as long as they make money, some people just don't care. And GT, we disagree politically because I would like a president who's a good person. He just wants someone who's good for the economy. To be fair, at the end of the day it's a job. The president is not an Instagram model that has to be universally liked. They have to lead a country, and improving the economy is one of the ways to do this. Does this mean they have to be a piece of beep? No, but it's a bonus, not a requirement for them to do their job. I think that he will be re-elected mostly because the presidents back to Clinton all served double term. Common sense says no, but I also believe that Bush Jr. wouldn't get re-elected either. Lol. Actually, common sense says yes. 80% of all presidents get 2 terms. Looking at finer details may say otherwise. He made an appearance out in PA recently, and I know someone who lives nearby who said there was a huge turnout of folks who just wanted to see his car go past. Reminds me of a rally he went to in Iowa a couple of nights before Election Day, 2016. Same thing. Thousands of people waited around till 1 in the morning because his plane got delayed. Despite everything you see on the media to the contrary, I see him winning by a landslide. I think it's unlikely. I don't even think he wants to be president, but is incapable of admitting. I definitely agree that he doesn't want to be president anymore. He only ran in the first place because so many people told him he couldn't do it. The goal for him was never actually being president, the goal for him was winning the election. Once he did that, he no longer cared. I think his run for president was all about promoting the Trump brand. I don't think he expected nor wanted to win. I think Trump will pull out a narrow win. Most presidents get second terms. For all the many articles that Reddit has criticizing and hating Trump, it's important to note that Reddit is often the vocal minority on a lot of issues. A silent majority of people plan on voting for Trump. They just don't share those thoughts with anti-Trump friends and/or associates. You, sir, know how it works. Most people